All right, you guys, it's a big day, because we have been working so hard on designing these really cool dragon eyes that you guys have been drawing. And today we're going to start to color them in. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was nervous about coloring mine in. So I took my original one and I made a photocopy. Actually, I made like 6 photocopies of it because I just knew that I wanted to have a backup because I was nervous. So I want to let you guys know once again, for every project, but I think, we've really been talking about it a lot for this one, permission to fail, right? To try things out. And so I wanted to give myself that permission to fail, and I know that I might, and that's why I wanted to have some backup copies. So if you have access to, a copy machine, feel free to make copies of your black and white kind of cartoon coloring book looking drawing before starting. If you don't, it's actually not too hard to make your own copy. What I would do, and what I have done before, is actually just put a piece of tape on it, put it up to the window, grab another piece of paper, put it over the top, and when it's up against the window, it's like one of those transparency papers almost, so you can actually just trace it again on there. Or you could just draw a smaller, real quick sketch version and see what you like. So I just wanted to throw that out there because, even your art teacher gets nervous. And even your art teacher is thinking, oh, I might want to back up because, the drawing was cool. I liked the drawing and I didn't want it to get ruined. So anyway, there's that. But I have started, as you can see, I've started using my gradients and coloring in. And so far I am liking it, so that's good. So when I was trying to decide, what do I want to do for the colors? I know I have to do gradients for this, right? I need to be going from dark red to light red to pink, or from yellow to orange to red, or from blue to violet to red, or whatever we're choosing to do, right? We're doing our color gradients, and there's lots of options. But I didn't really know what I wanted to be my main focus colors on this. But I know I love orange. Well, I love all the colors. But lately I've been digging orange, I think, because of the time of the year or whatever. So I wanted the eye to be the main color of it to be orange. Obviously, I'm going to be pulling in some yellows and some reds because it's a gradient. And I might even do, if I have yellows continue over here, I might even bring in a little hint of green at the edges because I think that might look kind of cool. But orange is going to be my main focus color in the center. So I'm going with the age-old trick of what makes colors pop, and that's complementary colors. So if you've never heard of that before, you've probably heard the word complementary, right? But what does it mean when we talk complementary colors? So you guys can see down below there, I have a color wheel pulled up, and this is just a real basic 6 color, our 3 warm colors, our 3 cool colors, our color wheel, right? And so you can see they're in order, kind of starting at the 5 o'clock point is red, and then going counterclockwise, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Right? So that's a color wheel. So I decided if I'm going for orange, I want the complementary color. So complementary colors sit across from each other on the color wheel. So orange's complementary color would be blue. And yellow's complementary color would be violet, and green's complementary color would be red. And so what do we mean by complementary color? Okay, so I know if we compliment somebody, it means we're saying something nice to them. So do they say something nice to the other one? What's happening? So here's why they're called complementary colors. Fun little fact, not a lot of people know. So let's say I've got orange, right? Maybe put it down here. So I've got orange. I know my colors on camera aren't always very true to color. Sometimes it kind of adds tints and shades and stuff, which we'll talk about shortly. Anyway, so here's orange, here's blue. They're complement to each other. So orange, when I see it just like this, and blue, when I see it just like this, they have a certain amount of intensity to them. When I put them next to each other, though, they actually appear more intense and more bright than if they were by themselves. So they're going to pop more when they're next to each other, which is why we say they're complementary, right? They're they're feeding off of each other's strengths and making each other stronger, more bold, more intense colors just by simply being next to each other. So I've decided I'm going to do orange as my main color. Once again, we're doing gradients, but orange is going to be kind of my main focus color here, and then my blues are going to be for the scales. Once again, I'll be pulling in violets and greens for the scales, and maybe some blacks to make some shades, and whites to make tints. Talk about that shortly. But I just wanted to throw that out as an option for you guys too. If you're kind of stuck, like, I don't really know. I know I want this color, but what other color? Try complementary colors. They always are going to look amazing together. That's why they're called complementary. You do not have to do complementary colors. I just thought I'd throw it out there as, first off, a interesting bit of color theory that we can learn about together, and just something for you to consider as you're thinking about how you want to put yours together, okay? So we have to do gradients. We know that. Complementary colors, that would be totally optional. So the next thing then, you guys have heard me saying a million times here, tint and shade and tint and shade. What are we talking about? So I'm going to pull up a different color wheel here so you guys can see this one now below. So if you kind of look at, you know, the outer ridge here, we're kind of seeing the lightest color of whatever, you know, whether it's blue, green, yellow, orange, right? So you can see the lightest color on that outer edge. Let me see if I can pull that up bigger for you guys. Can I make that bigger? Oh, maybe not. Well, give me a second. Let's see if we can get this guy bigger. No, I don't think so. All right, we'll have to go back. Oh, wait. Hold on. One more try. There we go. That's a little bit bigger anyway, right? So we've got kind of the original color. It's going to be more towards center. But you can see as it goes to the outer edges, it gets more and more white. So as you add more and more white to something, that's called tinting it. We're going to tint it by adding that white. We're shading it when we add black to it. So you can see as you go towards the center, there's adding more and more black to whatever that color is, and it's shading it, making it darker. So that's tinting and shading. A lot of people use those things wrong in the English language, but that's what it is adding either black for darkness or white for lightness, tinting and shading of whatever that original color was. So when we're doing our color gradients here, remember we can be doing the same thing. Like you could go from, let's say I want to go from black to a like black violet to start adding in some blue, and then maybe I do a lighter blue and I start adding in a tint. So I start adding in white, and then it's like a whitish blue. So feel free as you're doing your gradients, feel free to expand what each color can do by adding in tints and shades. So your black and your white while pastels, okay? It's time to color. We have a good few class periods to get working on this. Make sure you check and buzz for the deadlines, the due dates that are going to be coming up in a few days here. But I hope you have fun, and I hope that you guys create some amazing things. I know that these are going to turn out so wonderfully. I can't wait to see them.